911 location of your emergency.
Breaking news out of North Idaho. Moscow police are investigating a homicide on King Road.
Is she breathing?
No.
So 5'10", all black. Could you see what color his eyebrows were or anything like that?
No, I don't remember what his eyes look like either.
Officers discovered the bodies of Ethan Chapin, Xana Kernodle, Maddie Mogen, and Kaylee Goncalves, but no weapon has been located at this time.
Arrested. That's 28-year-old Bryan Kohberger in custody today.
The Kohberger allegedly stalked one of the victims. That's false.
We do not have evidence that the defendant had direct contact with 1122 or with residents of 1122, but we can put his phone in that area. There are many residences in that area. It's a dense population of mostly college-related occupants.
Everything is alleged. Hey, you guys. How is everyone doing? I'll be on the camera here in just a second. But I was sitting this morning and letting Don see everyone reacting to him in his little video that I showed you guys in the members only live. And he's going to come in here off camera, but in the microphone here in just a second. And he's going to say thank you because he said he wanted to. Because we went through all the super stickers that came in for him and the stuff from PayPal from the one before that he had, and then the stuff that came in. And altogether, he has like almost $95, which is crazy. Now, he doesn't understand or know about like the 30% thing or whatever, and he doesn't understand that, and neither does it matter to me either. So he's just going to get the full amount that he saw when it came in. And he already has ideas. Like he already was like, okay, next one, we have to do those fruit pastries. Like, you know, the ones that are like really pretty. And he already knows that when we are planning our trip inside Houston in a few weeks, that we plan on going to a pastry thing anyway. So I guess he wants to do an extra one. So I'll let him pick a place for that. But let me go ahead and call him in here real quick. Okay, hold on. He's chewing a donut. Hurry, swallow. He's almost there, guys. You good? Okay. They can't see you. It's all right.
I'm good now.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, thank you for $93. That is pretty insane. And yeah, I forgot what to say.
So you can't wait to do your next video.
Oh yeah, and I can't wait to do my next video.
So when I get off today's live, I'm going to have him sit with me and we're going to get the thumbnail done for his UK video. And then I'll have it posted out to his channel today because that was the only thing that I haven't done yet is the thumbnail. Look, there's MTP right there.
Nice.
All right, you ready? I'm going to go live now. Say bye.
Bye.
All right, let him get out of here and then I'll be back. Look, you got another $4.99. So now let's just call it. Let's just call it a cool 100. You got 100. I'll put 100 in your account. Okay.
Okay.
Lots of videos. All right. Thanks, guys. Let me get them out of here, and then we'll get started.
The calculator.
You want to add it to the calculator? Okay, here.
Yeah.
So it's 93.92, and then we're gonna add the $4.99. He's very technical, very specific. Okay. So what is your full amount now?
$98.91.
Look, and another $4.
What?
All right, let's do it again. Hold on. All right, now what is it?
103.09.
Oh, 90 cents.
90 cents?
Yeah, the zeros. It doesn't show the zero on the calculator, but it's supposed to be behind the 9. That's crazy.
God.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's a lot of videos.
I know.
Okay, let me get started. Okay, love you.
All right.
Bye. Bye.
Bye.
He's so funny. Yeah, he won't round up. I kept trying to tell him, like, okay, no, you can round it up. Like, it's technically like 94. No, he wants to, he's on the dot. He's so technical. Right on the dot. Oh my God. Yeah, so I told him earlier too that he could we could go online later too and he could find something because he sees a lot of videos, like he watches a lot of videos, reaction videos. So I told him we can go online later too and we can find something for him to get that he can react to too. That's another reason, like Slade doesn't want to be on camera, but he picks up really quick on stuff. Like he's a really quick learner. So and oh my gosh, another $20 for Don. So if he could start oh my God, and another $9.99. Okay, let me add it to the calendar, and then I'll show. I mean, the calendar, the calculator, and then I'll show him here in a minute. Plus $9.99 plus 20. Okay, yeah, you have to do it. You gotta do it precise. He's so funny. Okay, 103. He's gonna have so much to do. My gosh. But this is also something that Slade could help with, and then it could be like a thing for him too. Like Slade will talk off camera, but he don't want to be on camera. I wish he would because his reactions to stuff are hilarious. He just doesn't want to be on camera, which is fine. But he's funny. Okay. That's awesome. He's going to have so much fun. Now, I do know that I do know about that. I have not watched it. I know that they have Aubrey, right, with them. I just kind of figured that we could maybe watch it at the end of this live going over Martha's interview, and I'll just take it out separately. Now I originally wanted to do whose interview today? Bianca. But I was having a conversation with someone last night, and it just became sort of apparent that maybe this one needed to be reviewed first, and then we go back and do Bianca's maybe tonight, unless of course something unseals. There's another PCR filing. Now we do, something related to the PCR filing. Now we do finally have the actual document for the lawyer being assigned. It's now been issued. It's only 2 sentences basically saying, hey, this is the lawyer and this is his name. And there hasn't been anything else. What we are now expecting to get, from how I'm understanding this process goes, what we should now see is a PCR filing done by the lawyer. So that would mean to me that the lawyer, in order to be able to create a PCR filing that's at legal standard and that fits what a lawyer would file, he's going to need to access some stuff. He's going to have conversations with Bryan. He's going to have to look through some of the paperwork. He's going to have to get enough of the evidence in front of him to where he can actually write an educated, informed filing, not like that bullshit that we saw at WSU, where they're putting crap in there that's already been proven even before the plea deal happened to have been completely not true when it came to this case. So let's hope that that's what happens here. Now, I know that there are, we found, some strange connections that makes us kind of uncomfortable for what's going on here. But this lawyer also apparently already went up against Moscow PD in the Stickergate situation. And I know that a lot of people know about that, but a lot of people don't know about that either. And I plan on the next day or two trying to gather up the basics of that. I have had a lot of people send me information. Thank you so much for that. I'm going through it and going to just find the best way to summarize it, and we'll go live and talk about it because there's 3 officers that were on scene on 11/13/22 at 1122 King Road that were involved in the Stickergate thing. And now BK's lawyer is known as someone who has already went up against them in something pretty serious, which is a definite plus. So I guess we'll see what happens with that. We'll also see how long it takes for him to get a professional filing out here. We shall see what happens. To BK fam, thanks for the 10 Timu. To BK fam, YouTube vid 8/3. Big Amish is Kohberger's plea unconstitutional. The de facto offer exposed will help BK. I've heard of Big Amish. Is it Amish Mafia? Is he like an attorney? I heard him talking on some YouTube channel the other day. I can't remember who it was, but it was way before the plea stuff that he was talking about. I can't remember what it was. I can't remember the channel though. But we're going to go ahead and we're going to listen to this Martha interview. There's some really interesting things in here, and I'm honestly shocked by what I'm hearing. Some content creators are just allowing people to run with, or what they're now suddenly changing perception on, which is crazy considering that we've all fought so hard to make sure that the facts and stuff are out there. And just some of the stuff that I'm seeing is actually kind of insane. So that's why we're going to go ahead and go over this today, even though it's one of the newer ones. Totally out of schedule the way we normally do, but I feel like it's important. So I did take out some of the sections where there's a lot of like silent, like room silence and no one's saying anything. There's not very many of them. It's only maybe 6 minutes shorter, I think, than the original one, maybe even less than that. Anything that was like a long redaction, it was cut down to like 3 seconds, and there's a notation of how many seconds it was and that I took it down. Yeah, but I mean, there's not really too much silence, but just be warned here already. This girl talks like I have her at 3 times speed. And y'all know how fast I get talking whenever I'm in a flow. This chick caught me off guard. Okay. This girl talks fast. Alrighty. I was going to go in and try to separate out her talking from the police and even slow her down some before we went over it. But I also wasn't expecting on going over this until maybe I don't know, sometime Thursday maybe. So that didn't happen. But damn, she talks so freaking quick. Yeah, I just don't want to slow down the cops talking because it'll slow them down annoyingly too much just to make her sound normal. But damn, she talks quick. Okay. But when we have to go back and re-listen to something, I'll slow it down when we are playing it back. Okay. Interesting things said here, so let's take a listen.
All right, it is November 18th at 2:17 p.m. This is Idaho State Police Detective Matt Wernsing and HSI Task Force Officer Sage Collins. And we are here with, if you could please spell your first and last name. What's your date of birth? All right, and I know I just asked you this, but we'll get on the recording. So how do you know the victims of this?
So Xana was a really close friend of mine. I'd say outside of my story, she was one of the closest people, closest friend group we had. We were always together. Not always together.
See? When this first started playing, I was like, what happened? Did they warp speed her when she spoke? That's crazy.
All right, and I know I just asked you this, but we'll get on the recording. So how do you know the victims of this?
So Xana was a really close friend of mine. I'd say
and see, slowing it down makes it sound like shit. But yeah, she talks like hella quick.
All right, and I know I just asked you this, but we'll get on the recording. So how do you know the victims of this?
So Xana was a really close friend of mine. I'd say outside of my story, she was one of the closest people, closest friend group we had. We were always together. Not always together, but on the weekends and stuff. That's who I partied with, and that's who I was always around. And then Ethan was a really good friend of mine from a fraternity I was really close to. I knew of Maddie Mogen, and I had never met Kaylee.
So she was really good friends with Xana, obviously friends with Ethan, barely knew Maddie, but did know of her and had no idea who Kaylee was. Yeah, girl is sped up somehow. I don't know how, but this is not natural.
She was one of the closest people, closest friend group we had. We were always together.
Sounds like it. I mean, holy shit.
But, on the weekends and stuff, that's who I partied with, and that's who I was always around. And then Ethan was a really good friend of mine from a fraternity I was really close to. I knew of Maddie Mogen, and I had never met.
Actually, that might be the better idea, because you guys know how I usually try to not... I usually take the video and then do the things I just said to it and try to heighten the volume. But this might be one of those exceptions where we might just have to watch it from the channel. As long as there's captions on it. I've noticed, and I don't know for why, but I have noticed that some of the body cam video that Connor put out, suddenly the closed captionings are gone. The closed captions are gone, and they had closed captions. They had closed captions. This will be a little bit more difficult to like do a playback go back on, because it doesn't have like a 10-second rewind thingy, but it'll at least have captions because this chick.
Right, it is November 18th at 2:17
Oh,
p.m.
It's the 18th.
This is,
I guess I should have listened to that first, but this is the this is how it came.
Idaho
from the
State
channel.
Police Detective Matt
Why does it say the 18th? Okay, I'm gonna have to check the report. Okay.
Lansing and HSI Task Force Officer Sage Collins. And we are here with, if you could please spell your first and last name.
Let me move these up. Oh, hold on. She's got to talk first, then I can move them.
What's your date of birth?
Okay, let's see if it picks her up. Because if she's talking so fast it doesn't actually pick her up, I'm going to switch back to the other one.
All right, and I know I just asked you this, but we'll get on the recording. So how do you know the victims of this?
So Xana was a really close friend of mine. I'd say outside of my sorority, like she was one of like the closest people, like closest friend group we had. We were always together. Not always together, but like on the weekends and stuff. Like that's who I partied with, and that's who I was always around. And then Ethan was a really good friend of mine from a fraternity I was really close to. I knew of Maddie Mogen, and I had never met Kaylee.
I mean, it's catching up with her.
Yeah, no. Thank you, you too.
And correct me if I'm wrong. You had
Really good friends with Xana. Good friends with Ethan. She met him through another fraternity that she was close with, is how she just put it. Knew of Maddie Mogen. Never met Kaylee, is how she put it.
spent a little bit of time with Xana and Ethan the night or two prior to the incident, correct? Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
That's right. So will you just kind of walk through, I guess, go as far back as you feel is pertinent, and then as you're recalling things, I would say don't, if there's like a small detail that you think is like, oh, that's not important or something like that, or something that maybe doesn't sit well with you. We're trying to gather as much information as we can, and so anything big or small, any information that you have, we'll take from you. So like I said, go back about as far as you think is pertinent in regard to Saturday or even Friday, and just, like I said, we'll kind of give you like an open narrative forum to.
Okay, so Saturday was like kind of a weird day. It was raining. It was like the last home football game, and there just wasn't a ton of people out. And it was in Vision, Idaho, so it was supposed to be dry on campus. And so
Remember, we've been talking about this for a while, and a lot of people don't talk about this, and I don't know why they don't talk about this. This is important. Envision Idaho was happening that weekend, which is where high school age kids that are looking for a college, that's the weekend that they basically invite them to come to campus with their parents so they can get a feel for what the college campus is like. The football games are going on, and there's an entire lockdown on everything that's supposed to be happening in way of partying. That's why they had the undercover situation going on at the band field, so that they could catch people that were going against the Envision Idaho thing, because they were putting on a facade. They were putting on a show, a veil for the newbies that were coming in, so that the parents would want to let their kids go there without realizing how much of a party scene and what an issue it actually is there. That's what this was. That's why they said the launch party, they don't know how they even got permission to have it, because it was Envision Idaho. And that matters not just for the fact that there were things happening that technically shouldn't have been happening, and it attributes for it being a quieter night than normal and people going to bed earlier and things like that. But it also means people in town for the football game that was already extra traffic, strangers. Okay. Then we had it being Parents Weekend over in Pullman at WSU. So that's a whole nother wave of strangers that are not normally there. Then we have Envision Idaho, which is the weekend again, where people come to see if this is where they want their kid to go to school, which is another wave of strangers and even more traffic. So this was not a normal weekend by far, by any means. There were a lot of things going on this weekend on campus that were not the norm because of it being Envision Idaho. And not a lot of people talk about that. I don't know why. I feel like it's important. So I'm glad that she brings it up here. I really am.
Grading was supposed to really have a lodge party. And a lodge party is typically what like Xana Kernodle would throw. They threw it all the time. It was like verified through the university, verified through FSL. Like it was fine. And we all set up the lodge party, and it was kind of a weird, like there weren't many people, like it was kind of slow. Like usually the lodge party is kind of the biggest party on campus, and like everybody comes, and they keep names on everybody that comes in. And so Xana has a complete list of everyone that walks through the door.
And real quick, not to interrupt you, I apologize.
You're good.
And see, but this really isn't true either. So she's saying there's a complete list of everyone that walks through the door. What we saw that Connor released when it came to the list from the party that night was just the guys. There were no females, as far as we're being told, on that list, because who do we not see? We don't see initials for DM. We don't see a BF. We don't see an MM. And then this girl even starts saying, well, because I'm like one of the sweethearts or whatever, I can just like walk in and they don't bother IDing me or making sure, like, because they know me, I'm not put on a list, and then something else. So while they're saying everyone that walks through the door is supposed to be written down on this list, that means everyone. But for some reason, they're just not doing it for the girls. Supposed to be everyone. Even the Sigma Chi fraternity interviews were stating how there were sober people at the door checking people in, and they had a list of names. Like, this is something that we've known for a hot minute. We were expecting to see the girls' names on that list. We weren't expecting for it to just be the dudes. But we also didn't see Gideon's initials on there. The guy who wrote on Dylan's arm. His initials were not on there either. So I guess maybe the sober guys at the door weren't really keeping track the way that they were supposed to, it seems.
I am not remarkably familiar with Greek culture. What is a lodge party?
So a lodge party, the only reason they call it a lodge party is Sigma Chi's like big party room is like they call it the lodge.
Okay.
And so everybody, you go in, whatever, like the front of the door, like there's certain people that will like last year, I never walked through the door with like the guys at the front, but they have like people who are sober at the front, like looking at vandalism.
Is there not a way to slow her down just a tiny bit on here? Let me try this. Let's see.
IDs, like taking names down, because for FSL, you have to make sure like who's coming in and out.
Okay, so it went from 1 to 0.95, and just that little bitty bit does seem to help some. Let's see if it makes the other two guys like just impossible to listen to.
And what is FSL?
Fraternity is sorority life. So it's like a group of like adults that like make sure that everything's good. And
can we do one more?
They keep tabs on everybody, but like for me, like I would usually read the pregame, so I wouldn't be involved in that like list, if that makes sense.
Okay.
And like if I walked through, like obviously like I ran through their sweetheart, so like I probably didn't get written down. But like anybody who like they don't know or like are super familiar with, typically it's written down or they have to be on a list.
Does that speed sing better?
So, you go in, whatever. There wasn't a ton of people there that night, and so I spent a lot of time in the apartments that night. So Sigma Chi is set up, and they have like their big party room like right here, and then they have like a grassy area out here, and then like apartments that go around like in this like big like square. And we were in an apartment. And I was sitting in there, and I guess I walked in, and Xana was in there, and I always like every time I see Xana, it was always like, oh my god, thank God you're here. Like, so we sat down and we talked for a while about like how healthy her and Ethan's relationship was, and how she was really excited for her like wedding with him, because it was, like not that they were going to get married anytime soon, but just like
that's crazy that they were sitting there talking about getting married at that party. That's crazy.
Hypothetically speaking, like some Pi Phi wedding would be like really fun and stuff. Just talked about that for a while. I think I went back in and out of the lodge a couple times. And like Xana, like that group could party pretty hard, and like sometimes you look over and you're like, oh my gosh, you guys are really drunk right now. Like of course, like me too, like all of us.
This is important.
And Xana like wasn't super drunk that night. Like it was.
Xana was not.
She was like plastered by any means.
Now, we know what the toxicology reports say, right? We know the amount of alcohol that was in her system. But we also know, like I've mentioned before, when it comes to Dylan, and everyone's body works like this, no matter what size you are, for the record, everyone's body builds up a tolerance. So just because somebody's alcohol level seems higher than what people would maybe assume would be normal, it can affect the body differently if you're used to drinking like that so much. It takes more and more and more to get the same effect if you are doing it daily, because your body is growing a tolerance to it. Same thing happens with pharmaceutical medications, regardless of what the medication is for. If your body gets too used to the ingredients, it stops working correctly and you have to up your dosage. It's the exact same thing with pretty much everything. So just because her toxicology report might say something doesn't mean that she was off of her ass. Not if she's somebody who drinks daily and parties daily. So while we don't have toxicology for Dylan and Bethany, we have a pretty good idea from what we've heard throughout the entire almost 4 years now that Dylan was sober. At least from alcohol. Well, let's put it that way, I guess. We know what we see in the toxicology, again, in way of alcohol and amphetamine when it comes to Xana and Ethan. But a lot of people acted like Xana was just so drunk. Not really. Not really. Plus, if they had gotten home at some point, which we still don't know exactly when they got home, and now there's even more confusing information, because the list of information that Connor got, it's also a short timeline that Reed guy seemed to have put together. And he has a picture that Ethan apparently sent over Snapchat at 1:48, and it shows that they were at Xana's house. But at 2:15, when the DoorDash is made, we're being told that Xana's not home. And at 1:48, that's also when Dylan and Bethany are home and probably still Lakeland, they're at the house. And no one mentions seeing them. So that makes everything even more confusing. And I don't know why we haven't seen the metadata, seen that photo. Like, where's that? Show us that. Because it wasn't long after that 1:48 that the Cooper Atkinson guy in the Netflix series starts, I'm going to say, frantically calling Ethan. He calls him via FaceTime 5 times in a row and apparently gets no answer from what it looks like. But that's not mentioned when he's talking about all the stuff in the Netflix series either. So there's that too. Lots of confusion. Lots of confusion. So it's interesting that she's sitting here saying, yeah, you know, normally you'd look over at Xana and you'd be like, damn, she's wasted. No, this is not the case at all that night for her, apparently.
Like Xana, like that group could party pretty hard. And like sometimes you look over and you're like, oh my gosh, you guys are really drunk right now. Like, of course, like me too, like all of us, you know, we're in Greek life. And Xana like wasn't.
Thank you for the 5, Blondie.
Like it wasn't like she was like plastered by any means. And my friend in this other room took a photo of her that night at 2:00 when she was at Sigma Chi playing the guitar and put it on her story. And so obviously she has that photo.
See, now she's saying there's a picture of Xana playing guitar at 2:00 that was posted by a friend. But the timeline that Reed sends in to the police has Xana and Ethan home at 1:48. See why none of this matters at the end of the day? Why nothing that she says and nothing that got sent in by the Reed guy from Sigma Chi, why none of it matters? Because the only thing that matters is the technical analytical data from the cell phones that apparently nobody has and can tell us anything from. All the stories are so intertwined and back and forth.
You guys want to see it, Deeker? Or is it just
yeah? Like, if you wouldn't mind me
have it. So many photos from recently. So this is on story right at 2:00 in the morning in Sigma Chi, and that's Xana.
All right, and that was
See, why
That's at
can't we
2
see this
o'clock. It
picture?
doesn't say it.
like right at 2 o'clock.
Yeah.
See right here, it doesn't say it, but it is at 2 o'clock. If it doesn't say it, then why are you saying it's at 2 o'clock? We were told that the launch party ended at 1. That was pretty much what everyone said, was that the launch party ended at 1 o'clock. So then Peter said the last time he saw Xana and Ethan was around like 1:20 and they were getting ready to leave. And now she's saying, oh no, this was at 2 o'clock. It doesn't say it was at 2 o'clock, but just like, trust me, bro, it was 2 o'clock. See why none of this matters? Nothing that she says is going to matter. Because she's just coming off of some sort of memory thing, and she's already not correct from what everyone else is claiming and everybody else's stories and what the timeline itself. There's just, we can't take any of these eyewitness accounts for gospel. We can't, especially knowing that now we have some more actual technical information from device downloads and from court filings and all the other things. So while this interview is quite entertaining, to say the least, because she says a bunch of cray-cray shit, I don't understand why people that have worked so hard to make sure that facts are out there are now taking some of the stuff this girl has said and running with it like it's the new Bible. I find that very strange.
At 2 o'clock. It's on timestamps. I just have.
Oh, thank you, Lori. Welcome to the Don Don group. Welcome to the Don Don group. He's gonna be so excited.
Trevor story.
And who's
The girl over here.
okay?
Yeah.
What about Jack?
And I don't really know how Jack got home that night, but like, I know when everybody was leaving, I think Xana and Ethan just got up and walked home. Like, I don't think that.
That's a good point. That's a good point. See, I hate the time zones in this case because it does cause an issue. So she could be saying 1 o'clock. You're right. She could be meaning 1 o'clock, but it looks like 2. But still, I don't like the way she said it doesn't say it, but just like it's at 2 o'clock, basically. Wouldn't it have like the time that it was posted? I don't know how those parts of the apps and stuff work. But wouldn't it say like a post time that it was sent to the story? I guess it doesn't.
They didn't go anywhere else. I think they just went home after that. And
I don't know.
I got a ride home with a kid named Mike, who was a Sigma Chi sober bro. Remember how I said like there's like sober kids that sit at the door and watch who comes in? Mike was one of those sober bros.
Okay.
And so he gave me a ride home to Game of 5. And then probably like literally right after went to grub truck and picked up Kaylee and Morgan.
See, I don't know where this girl got her information from. She was not there at the grub truck to watch this shit happen. She has no clue what she's talking about. There's no vehicle that shows up on the grub truck camera that she can see to compare so that she actually has some sort of knowledge of this. She's talking out of her ass. And notice she doesn't even know Maddie's name. And I understand that she said she's met Maddie before, but she's also about to say, oh, sorry, I mean Maddie. I usually go by last names, where her last name's not Morgan either. So I don't know why she's sitting here even speaking on anything when it comes to Maddie and Kaylee when she doesn't even know them. She needs to just stick to Xana and Ethan.
Got up and walked home. Like, I don't think that they didn't go anywhere else. I think they just went home after that. And I got a ride home with a kid named Mike, who was a Sigma Chi sober bro. Remember how I said like there's like sober kids that sit at the door and watch who comes in? Mike was one of those sober bros.
Okay.
And so he gave me a ride home to Game of 5. And then probably like literally right after went to grub truck and picked up Kaylee and Morgan.
See, he dropped me off at my sorority and then he left me at my sorority and then he went to grub truck and picked up Kaylee and Maddie. No, ma'am.
Maddie, sorry, I would say her last name. Yeah, Maddie and Kaylee. And in the grub truck video, you can see a bunch of Sigma Chi's and a bunch of kids are there and they're all hanging out with them, and then they walk over out of that video and they go over to their sober bro car and drove them home.
They go over to their sober bro car and drove them home. Please tell me, Miss Ma'am, where in the grub truck footage did you physically see them go towards a vehicle at all? You don't. You don't see what the hell Maddie and Kaylee are doing when they walk off camera after they get the food, unless you see the camera from across the street. That camera footage was released after the plea deal and after information started getting released, as far as I'm understanding. So how can she sit here and say what she thinks that Maddie and Kaylee did based off of a camera footage that doesn't show them getting into a car? I don't know, Panda. I don't know. Because she wasn't at Grub Truck. She's talking out of her ass.
After we got home, we went to.
And you said, I'm sorry, you said mom.
Yeah, and picked up.
And is a guy or gal?
Is a guy.
Okay.
Colby.
How would she even know this? If she wasn't at the Grub Truck to see this happen, why is she acting like she knows 1,000% that this is what happened? She's wrong. Hella.
Called him sober bro.
Uh-huh. I don't know if he was sober, but I think he just came to get Grub Truck, but I know my was the sober bro driver that night.
All right. And I'm sorry, did you say you went down to the Grub Truck?
I did not, no.
Okay.
I went home. So Rob picked me up only, and I was like one of the last people left. I almost walked home alone that night.
And he picked you up from
Sigma Chi.
Sigma Chi.
Because he's a Sigma Chi, and he drove me back to.
Do you know about what time that was?
That must have been probably right around 2.
Who is she saying is the driver? That's the Sigma Chi Sobro. Which one is it? Anybody know who it is that she's actually speaking on right here? Because we know there was a couple different Sobros that night, and not just with Sigma Chi. But she's also just like full of shit too, because no, I don't know where she's instantly just getting that the guy that dropped her off went to the Grub Truck and picked up Kaylee and Maddie. I don't know where she's getting that shit from. She shouldn't even be speaking on this because she wasn't there.
And then from there, went and picked up the girls from the Grub Truck.
I don't know if he went home first, but I know he's in the Grub Truck video, and I know that's who he drove them home.
See, she's a dumbass. She's an idiot. Because he went to Grub Truck to get food. I know he's the one that drove them home. That's what she's going off of. That she's watched the Grub Truck footage, and she swears the guy that brought her home went to the Grub Truck, and because he's in the footage getting food, she just knows that's the guy who brought Kaylee and Maddie home. This girl's an idiot. This girl needs to stop talking.
And then from there, went and picked up the girls from the Grub Truck.
I don't know if he went home first, but I know he's in the Grub Truck video, and I know that's who drove them home.
I know that's who drove them home. Girl, no, you fucking don't. Oh my god.
And when you say the Grub Truck video, you mean the like live feed Twitch one?
Mm-hmm.
And there's a content creator that is running with this. And so are their viewers. And it's wild. And I don't understand it. That's why we're doing this today. Because I needed to listen to this entire thing. And no, wow, those people are wild.
Alrighty, so you were at Sigma Chi. Did you spend most of the time there at that apartment you were talking about?
I didn't go in any other apartments that night.
And did you go anywhere else? Did you go back into the lodge or anything like that?
Well, I went back and forth to the lodge in that apartment.
Okay.
Yeah.
And was Xana there the whole time?
I think Xana came back. Xana was just kind of bopping with us, like just back and forth to the lodge.
Xana was bopping with us.
A little bit, kind of thing.
All right. When was the last time you saw Xana before? Where does Jay live?
She's
Okay.
So she's with me.
And-
we live in the same house.
Okay, and the video that you saw is in room, you said?
The video, so the photo I just showed you?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a photo of Xana in the apartment that we were all hanging out at
Sigma
at
Chi.
2 a.m. at Sigma Chi.
Okay. All right, so when was the last time that you saw Xana at Sigma Chi in your...
Well, I sat with her for a really long time, and then I sat with her.
For
So
a long
probably the
time.
last time I sat down and talked to Xana, it was probably around 12:45-ish, maybe.
Did you see Xana leave? Was she there when...
Jack probably did.
Do you know if she was still there when you left?
I think she was,
Okay.
but I don't know that for a fact.
Okay.
I was kind of on the line.
Alrighty.
So.
And so you got a ride home from...
Mhm.
And then what happened?
I went home, we'd ordered pizza, so we were all sitting in my, like what they call like the day room. So you have like your day room where you keep all your stuff, and like the porch is where we all sleep. And I was hanging out with all my friends in our day room eating pizza. And then one of our friends texted us and was like, hey, you guys want to come over to Big? And we're like, yeah. And so we were at Big probably till around like 4-ish in the morning. And then the next day I woke up and I was supposed to go study with some of the Sigma Chi's. And so I went over to Sigma Chi around noon when we all found out about this.
Got it. Did you stay?
She was at the Sigma Chi house.
No, I did not. I came back to we all came back.
Okay, so you went to around 4.
No, we went to bed probably around 2:30.
Didn't she just say
and
she
then
went to
came
bed at
back
4?
around 4.
Wait, hold on. What does she do? What does she do? What is she talking about?
Okay, so you went to around 4.
No, we went to bed probably around 2:30.
Went somewhere else
And
around
then came
2:30
back
and then
around
came
4.
back around 4.
And is our next door neighbor.
Oh.
Sigma Chi is like, so we have like Old Greek, where it's like most of the Greek houses, and then like all the way across campus on Admin Lawn is where Sigma Chi AGD AKL is.
Okay.
So it's like a separate thing. Yeah, it's a pretty good walk. It's a solid like 5-6 minute, 7-minute walk.
And you said they're your next, like they're actually your next door neighbor. I'm really sorry. What sorority are you in?
She said Gamma something earlier.
And where is your house and the house in reference to the victim's house? Are they anywhere close?
No, they're very far away.
Okay.
Well, no, I mean like far away in terms of like it's like the other side of campus.
Okay.
Yeah.
Over by like the Sigma Chi or?
Theirs is like their house is like literally I was standing in the lodge, that lodge where we had the lodge party, looking across to Xana's house.
Now, I will say, I know this girl's name is Martha Smith in this interview, and I know we see a picture of her, right? And Connor's usually on point with getting the pictures and the names correct. And I know that there's a lot of people down there that like sound the same, but if you guys watch the Netflix series, does she not sound like the Maya girl that was also really good friends with Xana? Like their inflections and everything are very, 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 very similar.
All the cops showed up.
Okay.
Like it's like right there.
Pretty sure.
We walked like, and that's like
yeah.
King Street is where everyone lives. Like King Street is like where all the parties happen. Like that's where everybody is. It's like chock full of college kids in there.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So you came home around 4 from the house.
Mm-hmm.
And okay, so what happened after you came home?
Just went to bed.
Went to bed, and you woke up.
Probably around 11. Because I was studying at noon. You know, and at first we didn't know, you know, what it was. So there was a little bit there where we thought it'd be fentanyl or like carbon monoxide or something. But like Xana and Ethan weren't big drug people by any means. I never saw them do coke ever.
Just because you didn't doesn't mean anything. And notice, no one's asked her about cocaine, coke, none of that stuff. She just mentioned that herself. At least not that we've heard. She just mentioned, you know, that specific drug herself by herself.
And Ethan weren't big drug people by any means. I never saw them do coke ever.
I don't recall anybody mentioning that one specifically.
Had you seen him do any other drugs?
Maybe like roll, but like nothing. It was mostly just alcohol and like Xana like really didn't even take edibles or anything. I also saw that night too.
Who?
Who's
one of her roommates that
Bethany.
survived.
okay?
Sorry, Bethany that night.
No, you're fine.
About stuff.
I do know some of the players, but just for the sake of this kind of being, we'll call it an isolated interview.
Okay.
I'm just gonna.
See, they should not be having all these different people that don't know the backstories, that don't actually have an everyday pattern in this case, interviewing people because they don't know who. How are you interviewing anyone into this case and you don't know the name of one of the surviving roommates? You should be listening for certain names to be mentioned. You should be asking very specific things about very specific names. And that one you had to ask for. This is another flaw of this investigation. This is why there's things that we out here can see that they didn't see, because we're looking at literally everything in front of us at one time. And these idiots never even communicated people's names back and forth to each other. It's just a screwed up investigation all around.
Have you pretend like I don't know anything, don't know who anybody is, and so if you refer to somebody, I may just clarify that. You said you saw Saturday night.
I saw yeah, I was sitting with Xana.
Yeah, that sounds like Bethany. When he just corrected the name that he said, it sounded like it started with a B.
Just clarify that. You said you saw Saturday night.
I saw yeah, I was.
That's a B. It's Bethany.
I was sitting with Xana. I was sitting with Xana, or was I sitting with? I was sitting with somebody talking on the couch that I talked to Xana at. Walked in.
At Sigma Chi.
At Sigma Chi in that same apartment. We chatted for a second and then she left.
Do you know about what time that was?
I don't. I can't be certain on that. Sometime between midnight and 2.
Big gap. 2 hours is a big gap.
Take a photo of an email that has a little bit of information on it.
This is one.
Took a photo of an email.
Is that it? The one with all the colors?
Yeah.
No, it's so it's there's like an addendum.
I would do anything to find this guy.
I would imagine so.
Did she just say I would do anything to find this guy in the background? Okay, I know that there was one from this morning. How many others are there? Because we'll go live and just watch them all. I mean, we'll have a marathon. I mean, damn. That's crazy. And for those of you who might have missed it, the little airplane flight on the way over to New York for the first one. Remember what happened is that Steve stood up and ran to the back of the plane and told Christy that he wasn't feeling good in a panic, it sounded like, and ran to the back of the plane. And then all of a sudden, a bunch of nurses and doctors and emergency personnel are being asked for over the intercom, and people are rushing back there. And it's all about Steve. Steve is having a low blood pressure issue, and he had a medical emergency in the back of the plane. And Christy stated in her post about this on Facebook, she just sat there and waited for him to come and tell her what happened. That in that instance, she could have became a widow. With all the stress, with all the crazy shit going on, with everything over the last 4 years, with how we've seen him age a decade over the past 4, all of the weight back and forth, all of the crazy shit going on, he could have been having a heart attack. He could have been having a stroke. He could have been about to have an aneurysm. He could have just gotten up and went to the back of the plane and had a freaking heart attack and died. And she just sat there waiting for him to come back and tell her what happened. With the plane panicking and people running back there to see what's going on and emergency personnel being asked for over the intercom. So when she's on all these shows crying and boudet and whatever the hell she's doing, I don't care. Christy's a robot. And this dumb shit that she's doing all over Facebook, and people are trying to pretend like, oh my God, she deserves some grace because she lost her child. That's who she's been this entire time. We've got messages and conversations from her from before anything ever happened to Kaylee, from before Kaylee even got to the University of Idaho, from back when Kaylee was in high school, when it comes to Steve's first actual child, Samantha. And conversations about that. That's who Christy is. What people have seen beforehand that are now shocked by that behavior is the facade that they put on themselves once this happened because they wanted the public sympathy, which you were going to get it anyway. You didn't have to lie. So just remember who these people are when y'all are watching these freaking shows that they keep going on. It's so ridiculous. But yeah, no, we'll definitely sit here and watch a shit ton of them. We'll definitely sit here and just have a whole marathon and just call them in their lives, every single one. They're absolutely insane.
Do you know of any reason why somebody would want to hurt Xana or Ethan?
My gut feeling on this is that somebody was after either Kaylee or
doesn't know her.
Maddie.
Doesn't know her.
Accidentally ran into Xana and Ethan.
Has no clue at all about Kaylee's life. Has only even heard of Maddie, doesn't even know how to say the girl's last name right. And it can't be my friends, so it's got to be the other two that I absolutely know shit about. Okay, girl.
And Ethan were like the most uncontroversial. I would say, like, and like I said, like even before Xana died, I would describe I describe her as the most popular girl in Greek girl. Everyone knew Xana, and everyone loved Xana. Like every single hometown, like there's just no like. I've never been sitting in a room where somebody said, like, oh my God, did you hear what Xana did? Like, it wasn't like that with her. She was just always nice to everybody. If she realized in a situation that somebody wasn't included, she would invite them to the pregame, like, you know, sit with them. Like, it didn't matter who you were. Xana was, and Ethan was the same way. I mean, Ethan was just one of those kids that, like, wasn't into the drama, just super nice.
Other than you don't necessarily see somebody wanting to go after those two, is there any other reason why you think somebody would be targeting Maddie or Kaylee?
When you said you didn't know them?
You know, when I had left Moscow, my mom had come pick me up, and a couple of the Sigma Chi's came over and hung out with us. A couple of our really close friends, and they said that Kaylee had a stalker or something to that extent, but I don't know the validity of that. I don't think about that. I don't know anything about that. There wasn't like, I mean, in terms of like animosity with anything, though, I mean, it, like, especially with those roommates, I mean, there was just no, like, there wasn't any fighting. And like, Xana and I had like a lot of conversations because her out of house last year, the one directly next to the house that she was living in, I mean, they partied like all the time, like really hard. Not like drugs and stuff like that, but like wine night, tequila Tuesday, like, you know what I mean? Just drunk a lot. And she was telling me how great this year has been because she like went to school more and like, you know, she was going to the gym and she'd gotten a boyfriend, and, you know what I mean? Things were going really well. And that's why I don't know. So this summer I lived at,
Interesting. Yeah, she just says a lot of stuff. Just lots of stuffs, you know, lots of stuffs. Right? Like, they don't really realize that these are FOIA-able. That's why, like, I know that somebody is under, like, self-preservation mode for real, because the interview, and this is just...
Anyways.
Because the interview, and you guys have heard me say this before, the interview with like the three girls that are talking about Kaylee telling them back at a sorority event at a lunch in September, on September 11th, actually, 2022, about there being an uncomfortable situation, somebody sending her something, or there was some sort of advance happening, some sort of even possible stalker harassment type situation happening back in September, before September 11th, that a collective group of girls remember Kaylee talking about. This is not one person. This is like 4 or 5 different girls all remember Kaylee having this conversation with them, but for some reason, none of them can remember, or at least at the time of these interviews, could not remember the very specifics, but all of them remembered the gist of it and were like, yes, we had this conversation with her all the way back in September. It's really, really weird. When Connor was going through all of the interviews and seeing what was already gotten and like starting his big master list that I still haven't, I still have to sit my information over there for. We're all still working on all of our own freaking list. But for the master list, when he was going through everything, that interview right there that talks about that stalking situation from back before in September had already been paid for by somebody. All Connor did was pay the $30 duplication fee for that interview. And to me, that is one of the more telling interviews because it tells of a collective, again, a group of people that remember Kaylee telling them this very uncomfortable story from way before, all the way back in September. I don't know anybody who would have gotten that interview of these women telling the police these very serious details of something that they all collectively remember of Kaylee having an issue, and it be one of us and it not be released to the public. So was it the Goncalveses? Did they pay for it to see from the reports what maybe the girls were talking about? Was it the stalker person that maybe read the reports and then paid the FOIA and had it redacted and sent to them so they could see if they were snitched on by name or not? I mean, you don't know. But that's a really uncomfortable thing to know, that somebody had that very important subject redacted and it was never released to the public until one of us paid the duplication fee and then put it out. Very curious as to who the hell that was.
Go back to bed, like, because I mean, it was just like, it's such a porous, you know what I mean? It was so, everybody was just in everything and it just didn't.
Somebody has tried to get FOIA information from them, like an actual list of FOIAs, like requests and their current statuses. Like, what was the request that was sent in and was it approved or denied? Basically. And even that's being denied. Originally, they were like, oh, no, we want like $7,000 for this list. And then when the person tried to make them understand exactly what it was that they were wanting, which is a list of just, again, statuses of the FOIAs. Everything that has been asked for in this case and what its status is. Not the information that was released, if it was approved, just if it was approved, if it was denied, if it was partially approved, but then pieces of it were redacted for privacy, that kind of thing. No, it doesn't exist. What you mean it doesn't exist? How do you know which ones to do duplicates for and which ones you have to do full redactions for if you don't have a list of things that have already been redacted and done via FOIA? You dumbasses. They're so stupid. They're so dumb.
Yeah.
Maybe. I wondered.
And Xana was over a lot too. So.
What have you heard other people say about this?
You know, there's a lot of different things rolling around. Nobody knows. The Twitch thing really freaked us out because, like, in my mind, when I look at that, like, I know that he's like not a suspect anymore. I know how guys are, and like adult men are just fucking scary sometimes when it comes to like dating and going home with people and stuff like that. And those girls are really uncomfortable in that, and he looks really nervous in it.
Is she talking shit about Showalter and the girls at the grub truck? Girls, stop talking about people you don't know nothing about. You're on my nerves.
The Twitch thing really freaked us out because, like, in my mind, when I look at that, like, I know that he's like not a suspect anymore. I know how guys are.
She sure thinks she sure wants to think she knows a lot. Let's change those words around a little bit, Thousand Julys. She sure likes to think that she knows a lot. She's just talking, bro. All kinds of cray.
And like adult men are just fucking scary sometimes when it comes to like dating and going home with people and stuff like that. And those girls look really uncomfortable in that, and he looks really nervous in it.
But no. See, and the whole point with this is now the truth is that Jack was invited by Kaylee and Maddie to go to another bar named John's Alley, and the grub truck happened to be a detour last minute. And then they must have just decided from there they didn't actually want to go to John's Alley. They just wanted to get food and go home. That's what happened. Now, I wish that Jack would have been asked, like, so when was the plan change? When did y'all decide, okay, we're just going to get food and not go to the bar? Like, was that a discussion? Because it does look like they went to the grub truck and then just took off and didn't tell him anything. That's the one thing that hasn't changed here. It looks like he is very surprised at the fact that they hop in a vehicle and he's just left behind, okay? But I don't know. I understand people's frustrations at the time because apparently no one had ever seen them hang out together. But then if you know the connection between if you know the connection between Connor Chestnut and Jack Showalter, and then you know that Maddie, apparently, according to several different people that witnessed this and saw this and lived through this entire thing, cheated on her boyfriend on vacation with Connor. And then the fact that the boyfriend lives far away, like, we don't know what the situation was. But she's hanging out that night with the basic best friend of the guy that she cheated on her boyfriend with. So people are questioning, why are they hanging out together? Why is Kaylee with them? But I'm also questioning, why is he acting like he doesn't know Kaylee when he was also at the Whites party with them earlier in the day? So there's a lot of self-preservation happening with everybody in this case for things that it's not necessary for. That's really making things look sketchy that are not sketchy. So I don't understand, if he has nothing to do with anything, then how come he's pretending like he doesn't know Kaylee? Why are we trying to distance ourselves from somebody that you then have to prove that you were actually with twice that day? And then you could technically call it 3 times because y'all left the corner club together and y'all were going to go to a whole different location. What would have happened at the end of the night? We don't know what would have kept on going if they wouldn't have left him at the grub truck like that. We don't know. But for her to be like, oh my God, they looked so nervous. They just looked so uncomfortable and he looked nervous and just looked so sketchy. That's not at all the truth. Go back and actually watch the grub truck. They walk up together. They separate once they get up there. He looks like he's just hanging out there. But they don't look uncomfortable one time. He doesn't look nervous. He's sitting there talking to a bunch of different dudes with his hands in his pockets. None of that. So again, this girl has no clue. She wasn't there. She's going based off of shit that's being fed to her by other people that obviously have shit wrong too. And she's telling the cops that she 100% knows that the guy that dropped her off also picked up Kaylee and Maddie simply because he's in the grub truck footage. I cannot imagine the kind of gossiper this woman is in real life, especially with how fast she talks. She's probably the one who gathers everybody's drama and then goes around and talks about it to everybody else. She seems like that type. She really does.
I
mean, her name is very Stepford Wives. Very gossipy, I'm just saying.
Of course, you guys can't tell me anything about it, but like that to me, like my gut says that it's.
Who looks nervous?
The guy that puts on his hoodie when he walks up. The guy in the hoodie that's talking and like stands behind him the whole time. And then when they're walking away, he goes like that. And I just imagine.
Do you know who that was?
No, I wish I did.
See?
Right. And you said he.
She doesn't know Kaylee. She barely even knows of Maddie. And she doesn't know Jack Showalter. She's just talking. She's just saying crazy stuff.
He was in line behind him at the grub truck.
So the grub truck video, they walk up and he's standing like right next to Kaylee when he walks up. And then he gets the grub truck thing and he has his hat on backwards and he's got his hood off. And he goes and he stands a little bit further away because unless he's just an idiot, he doesn't know the grub truck streams. And he puts his hat on forward, puts his hoodie up, and then stands behind them like 10 feet the entire time. And then starts talking to some guy and they point at him. And like Kaylee and Maddie kind of do like a don't talk to us kind of thing. And then when they're walking away, he went. And the direction he walks, if it's not mirrored or twisted or something like that, he like goes to walk toward them and like realizes they're with Chloe, and then directly walks like really hard the other direction. And like that just looked really angry to me and wrong.
What kind of vehicle were Chloe in?
I don't know.
You know? Okay.
I know. It was my car, I think. Because I was in it that I don't know what it was. I was drunk, so.
Okay.
I don't know.
Car, SUV, truck.
Car.
Color? Green car?
Maybe. And my was totally ready to come.
Is she saying that she doesn't even remember the vehicle that the guy that drove her home in was driving?
There was.
Is that what she's saying?
And then directly walks like really hard the other direction. And like that just looked really angry to me and wrong.
What kind of vehicle were Chloe in?
I don't know.
You know? Okay.
I know. It was my car, I think. Because I was in it that I don't know what it was.
See, I was in it. I don't know what it was because I was drunk. And so, okay, remember this right here. Oh my God. This person, okay? Remember she says this shit because she's going to say later that she knows for a fact that it's a silver car. And that's what Kaylee and Maddie got into. So remember that she just said that. I was drunk. I was in it, but I don't remember because I was drunk. Maybe it was green. She's out of her freaking mind. Oh my God, girl. Oh my God.
Really hard the other direction. And like that just looked really angry to me and wrong.
What kind of vehicle were Chloe in?
I don't know.
You know? Okay.
I know. It was my car, I think. Because I was in it that I don't know what it was. I was drunk, so.
Okay.
I don't know.
Car, SUV, truck.
Car.
Color?
Green.
Green car?
Maybe. And my was totally ready to come. And like when I called him about this, I showed him the Twitch video and he was like, oh my God. And he like almost started crying to me on the phone. And I don't know if he's been talked to yet.
Okay.
So
who did she show the Twitch video to that started crying on the phone? What are you talking about?
Green
car?
Maybe. And my was totally ready to come. And like when I called him about this, I showed him the Twitch video and he was like, oh my God. And he like almost started crying to me on the phone. And
she's talking about Jack D?
I don't know if he's been talked to yet.
Okay.
So he was also sober and was super. Yeah.
Okay.
Jeremy. Jeremy? Who is she talking about?
When I called him about this, I showed him the Twitch video and he was like, oh my God. And he like almost started crying to me on the phone. And I don't know if he's been talked to yet.
Okay.
So he was also sober and was super
Monitoring.
Yeah.
Okay.
She's talking about the Sobro guy. This is ridiculous. Okay. This girl is everywhere,
Okay.
bro.
What's his last name?
It's a tough spell.
That sounded like an L.
Monitoring.
Yeah.
Okay.
See, it says Jeremy, but I know it's not picking it up right.
And I don't know if he's been talked to yet.
Okay.
So he he was also sober and was super
Monitoring.
Yeah.
Okay. And okay.
What's his last name?
See, there's an L
It's a
last
tough
name.
spelling. No, it's tough. Let me see.
That sounded like an L last name. Right, how does she know? She was drunk.
And actually, while we're on that, can we grab your phone number as well?
Yeah. I didn't save.
Very strange information. Girl is wild. Yeah, she's just talking. She's just talking about people she doesn't even know. They shouldn't even be asking her anything about Kaylee and Maddie. And if she already admitted she wasn't at the grub truck, she shouldn't even be being asked any more questions
When
about
I
the
got
grub
in his
truck.
car, we were talking about how lucky he was that he was sober that night because like that lodge party sucked so bad and like nobody showed up. And he was like, thank God it wasn't like in Halloween or something. But yeah.
Well, of all the nights to be sober for, that was a good one.
Yeah.
Can I grab your phone number? Have you heard any other theories being thrown out there?
One that kind of makes me a little scared. I think the only people on campus that I've actually ever seen do coke or be involved in things.
See, have y'all heard the cops even ask her about coke? I haven't heard them even, unless for some reason it's redacted, which I freaking doubt because they're so openly letting her say it. Have the cops asked about coke specifically? I haven't heard it, and she just keeps being very specific about the drug she's talking about. That's usually a huge clue that she's full of shit.
Any other theories being thrown out there?
Yeah, I didn't
One
think
that
so. I
kind of
haven't
makes
heard
me a
him.
little scared. I think the only people on campus that
Yeah, she's being real
the only
specific.
people on campus that I've actually ever seen do coke or be involved in things like that, whippets, like that kind of stuff.
Jesus Christ.
Mixed in there. And I don't do it. Like, it's just not my thing.
Not in a bigger one.
But I can tell you guys if I did, because we're doing this right now. But I've never done it, but I've watched people do it. And that, I'd say that like Kaylee would have been in. I don't know if she would have done it, but I know like circles around her would have.
Why are you speaking on Kaylee? You shouldn't be allowed to speak on people you've already admitted you don't know. Shut your face. I mean, it's matching some of the information we've already heard, but that's not the point. She doesn't know Kaylee. She shouldn't be speaking this far on her.
And again, like I said, I don't know Kaylee. Like Kaylee of all these people is a person I don't know.
We have some of the information from the autopsy report. We have alcohol and amphetamine percentages for Xana and Ethan, and then alcohol percentages for Kaylee and Maddie. How much of this is silent? I don't remember there being this big of a.
Know very much.
Okay.
Do you think there's any involvement with the cartel or anything like that? Because that's what really scares me.
I'm going to be honest.
Whippets? Yeah, basically. It's kind of like how a bunch of kids back in the day used to huff paint, and like you could literally die the first time you huffed paint. It's the same concept, except for some freaking reason, and I don't understand it. I'm so glad that my kids know better, bro. My God, I'm so glad my freaking kids know better. You can go into like smoke shops and vape shops and shit and buy whippets legally here in Texas, and I'm sure other places too. They don't call it just like whippets all the time. There's like different brands and stuff for it, but it's scary. It's canisters basically of this air. I mean, you can even buy this shit on freaking Amazon, but it can literally kill you like the first time you try it. It's yeah, like it's so stupid. Nitrous oxide. You're inhaling really quickly nitrous oxide. You know, the same thing they use in Fast and Furious, but the car goes real fast. The car go real fast. Yeah, that's a thing. It's scary and stupid. Scary and stupid.
With you, I don't know very much about this. Like I said, we're being brought in to help,
Yeah.
just because
Things that makes
everybody
cars
has
go crazy.
dispersed. So, like, we work down here.
Okay.
We're the ones doing the interviews down here because we're down here, and they don't want
Having
everybody, their
enough
mom from Moscow, driving down here just to do interviews. So, I'm sure there are a number of viable theories floating around within Moscow PD. I don't know what any of them are. All right, kind of asked a little bit earlier, but was there any other reason other than you don't think somebody would have been going after Xana and Ethan, why you would think somebody would want Kaylee or Maddie dead?
No.
The only reason you haven't heard other people around campus talking about either of those two.
She asks that?
Yeah, like I said, the only thing
Maybe she hasn't asked it yet. I haven't heard it.
that I've heard of is like Kaylee having a stalker.
Okay.
That's the only thing I've heard.
Right there. I won't. I need to be on the same reality as my kids. That's why even when I had the kids with C-sections, I wouldn't take the pain medicine. They gave me Tylenol. Give me ibuprofen and Motrin. I don't want your shit. I can't. That right there. I don't want that. I don't want to be in a different reality. I don't want to lose my shit. Plus, you could die the first time you try any damn thing. It's just too scary. It's just too scary.
I don't know the validity.
Rewind a little bit. Okay.
Like I said,
I'll rewind to this photo here.
Do you think there's any involvement with the cartel or anything like that? Because that's what really scares me.
I'm going to be honest with you. I don't know very much about this.
Okay.
Oh, about the whippet thing? Okay, hold on. So that was when they were talking about the drugs.
Close around her. Yes, I did. Because we're doing this right now. But I've never done it, but I've watched people do it, and that I'd say that like Kaylee would have been in. I don't know if she would have done it, but I know like circles around her would have. And again, like I said, I don't know Kaylee. Like Kaylee of all these people is the person I don't know.
So here's the redactions.
Do you think there's any involvement with the cartel or anything like that? Because that's what really scares me.
There it is.
Do you think there's any involvement with the cartel or anything like that?
She's very straightforward in her questions. Very straightforward in her questions.
Do you think there's any involvement with the cartel or anything like that? Because that's what really scares me.
I'm going to be honest with you. I don't know very much about this.
Okay.
Like I said, we're being brought in to help, just because everybody has dispersed.
Totally.
So like we work down here.
Okay.
We're the ones doing the interviews down here because we're down here and they don't want
Cartels and
everybody
cocaine.
from Moscow driving down here just to do interviews. So I'm sure there are a number of viable theories floating around within Moscow PD. I don't know what any of them are.
Yeah, what's the white girl worried about the cartels for, bro?
All right, kind of
What you worried
asked
for,
a
bro?
little bit
Crazy.
earlier.
They're talking about all kinds of stuff.
But was there any other reason other than you don't think somebody would have been going after Xana and Ethan? Why you would think somebody would want Kaylee?
Oddly specific to ask about the cartels, and oddly specific that she's mentioning coke several times specifically when the cops have not even mentioned it. They've asked about things. They've asked about other stuff. They've asked about substances, whatever. But she is mentioning very specifically one thing. And that's interesting.
Or Maddie dead.
No.
This is true
The only
too.
reason you haven't heard other people
Honestly.
around campus talking about either of those two.
Yeah, like I said, the only thing that I've heard of is like.
Well, actually, that's not true either. They like to leave messages. There's been lots of situations where they've left witnesses, but not any witnesses that could actually like point fingers to anything, just witnesses to the chaos, especially across the border. They like someone to be able to tell the story. That's how the warning gets out. There's lots of stories like that.
Kaylee having a stalker.
Okay.
That's the only thing I've heard. I don't know the validity of that.
Did Xana talk about any drama or
Welcome,
beef
KT.
or anything that she saw
Welcome,
Kaylee
Cindy.
have
Welcome back.
or
Welcome back.
Maddie
Both
have
of y'all
with
been here
anybody?
members before. Oh, you've been a member for a year. See, I can't stand out. I can't hardly see half these till I put them on the screen. Thank you for being a member for so long, Cindy, and welcome back, KT. I know you've been a member before. Welcome, welcome.
Any type of offhand gossip that
One person that might know better than me would be her friend. Pretty shook up right now over all this, but I'm sure she'd come in and talk to
and
me.
just is whose friend?
Jana's.
Okay.
She was really close, and so
It said
We
Janice,
found
but
them.
that wasn't the right name.
are the people they called to come check out stuff.
Emily and Hunter.
And her boyfriend. But they're both in Mexico right up. They had booked in Mexico, but
They're in Mexico.
why are we not gonna go? So they went.
They also spent the night at the Chapin's house the night before they left for Mexico. We found that out in the Amazon Prime series.
So.
All right. And what was Jana's last name?
Oh, it's like or something like that. But let me find it.
Turns out there was drugs and messages about maybe him being cheated on, or at least somebody trying to use that, in my opinion, to get Ethan out of the house that night. And what date was that interview with the Chapins? Like the 16th? The 15th? I have the whole thing. That's where she says something about the 2 o'clock hour too. Isn't that crazy?
And she would know, because like I mean, I was more like the person that came over like on the weekends and like hung out. Just somebody that like was in the same sorority as her, lived with, and right now,
Is there anything around Xana while you guys were at the Sigma Chi house together that stood out to you as odd or anything like that? Something that didn't sit right with you?
nothing. I really don't think this was an attack on Xana and Ethan.
Okay.
I think they accidentally ran into them.
All right. Is there anything just kind of in, Saturday leading up to this or even Friday, just around campus, not necessarily around these, the victims that you saw that didn't sit right?
We've had a really weird year at U of I. we had, so last year, my friends were, which is a fraternity like right across the street from us, and they were sitting in a room that like had a window right above the door, and some guy with a bunch of face tattoos, and this has already been reported and stuff like that, threw a rock through the window while they were sitting there, and like got mad at everybody, they had to barricade all the doors. It was like this whole thing. I don't think they ever found that guy. And then this year, somebody was walking around campus asking students if there was a party, right, on like a Sunday night. We were like, no. And same thing, face tattoos, just scary dude in general. And they ended up like literally tackling him in front of, like, arresting him. So I don't know. That guy didn't seem like he was the only one of his type. Does that make sense?
That guy didn't seem like he was the only one of his type. Does that make sense? You mean maybe a Mexican cartel looking gangsta with a bunch of face tattoos looking for the next party to sell his dope at? Is that what you're asking about? That's what it sounds like. And maybe there were multiple Mexican cartel gangstas with face tattoos walking around campus. Is that what you're getting at? Sounds like that's what she's getting at.
Students, if there was a party, right, on like a Sunday night, we were like, no. And same thing, face tattoos, just scary dude in general. And they ended up like literally tackling him in front of, like, arresting him. So I don't know the date of that. I want to try to find that a record. Seem like he was the only one of his type. Does that make sense? And then there was also somebody who pulled a knife on somebody on Paradise Walk. Mm-hmm. So this is a situation that we heard about a long time ago in the very beginning of this. When I FOIA'd those 4 incidents that are considered related to the case from the MPD narrative, the guy on the bike trail with a knife was one of those cases. And I do have that information. We just haven't had time to go over any of it that came through to me from that FOIA request. We'll go over it here eventually, but this situation was one of the 4. I believe turned himself in.
All right.
After that. But I mean, we got a very strange year. And then Yik Yak, there was somebody that said, like, somebody wrote something along the lines of, women, if you're walking outside, I have a gun and nothing will stop me, or something like that. And of course, like, it's reported that Yik Yak's Yik Yak, and you can't find anything. So we've had a generally dangerous year, and I do a lot of stuff at the university. Like, I'm pretty involved in
listen
stuff.
to this.
And this summer I did like Idaho Bound talks every Friday. And every single time I sat up there and I said how safe I feel and how I'll walk anywhere at night. It doesn't matter if I'm going to come back from the library at 2 a.m. It doesn't matter if I'm, whatever. And now I feel like I lied about it. Like, I feel like I'm like, it's been a very strange year.
So she's admitting that she's having these talks, and she's getting up and she's talking about the school and how safe the area is and how safe the school is and how she can walk home in the middle of the night after a party, after drinking, and know that nothing's going to happen to her. And she feels like a liar because she knows through all this time, this stuff's still going on. One second. So yeah, she's saying that even though she knows all these things have been going on, she still gets up there and she lies on the podium as she's telling a speech about the school and about the area. Is she going to continue? Are we still going to keep hearing shit like nothing ever happens in Moscow whenever we know that all this crazy shit was going on? We didn't know about no weirdo tatted faces, people that were going around looking for parties and throwing rocks at windows. That's new. So the town knew about these people that were going around and doing all this crazy stuff on top of everything else. The homeless guy with a knife with blood on it in a bathroom, all kinds of crazy shit's going around in that town, but nothing ever happens in Moscow. I'm telling you, there has to be some sort of weird subliminal programming in some sort of orientation video or some shit, because they all say it. They all say it. It's so freaking weird. Come on. You can talk.
Other than the picture that you showed me of Xana playing the guitar, did you have any other?
And we haven't seen that. I don't think I've ever seen that picture that he's talking about.
Like text or anything, communication with her after leaving Sigma Chi?
No, I am the last text I sent. Let me see. I'm seeing if I have any photos from that night. I had to take out one photo last night. Okay. The only text I sent to Xana in the last couple weeks is when I found out that something had happened. We were at Sigma Chi, and like I said, like the kid who we were supposed to study with, he like picked up the phone and was like, "I think Ethan's dead. Like I can't come do it right now." And so I immediately texted Xana and I said, "I love you," and she'll never open it.
Never opened it.
All right, Sage, do you think of anything?
No, I think that's it.
Did we get my phone number? You asked for
Miles, low, whatever.
Yeah.
And did we grab phone number from you?
I don't have.
Okay. And did we ask last name?
No. Let me see. Another tough one.
He's sick, coughing in people's faces.
I think this whole thing is, I think, the worst because, like...
Oh, thank you for the $9.99, Kawanda. I appreciate it. Thank you. Actually, you know what? I had, I don't ever get Dunkin' Donuts ever, but I really, have been seeing commercials everywhere for their refreshers here lately. And McDonald's refreshers were so disappointing. I had wanted to get my Sonic one. I know this is a side note, but I would just want to tell you, what's going on with this. So Sonic had these refresher type drinks that I really liked that had Red Bull, and then you could do dragon fruit, and then I would do it make it dirty, so which is also coconut and lime. So that's what I wanted today, and I was like, I'm gonna get me an energy drink so that it's not coffee and it helps me stay up. I want something fruity, but then Sonic stopped making those, which was crazy sad. So then I decided to get the Dunkin' one, and this is the first time I've ever gotten one. And I got a smaller one because I didn't know if it was going to be good or not. Because McDonald's ruined strawberry. It made it taste tart and rotten. And I don't know how you could ruin strawberry watermelon, but McDonald's did it. And so I was scared. So I got this one, and it was the strawberry dragon fruit refresher, but I added coconut, extra strawberry with liquid sugar, and then had them make it with limeade. And I think I'm addicted. I think I'm addicted. Best believe I'm probably going to order another one. Thank you very much. Because I love this damn thing. It was so good. Thank you.
And I mean, no fault to you guys, but everybody keeps asking me if there's anything weird. There wasn't anything weird. And we're all sitting, my whole friend group sat around and talked about everything, and none of us saw anything.
I don't support Starbucks because during the 9/11 tower attacks, Starbucks was having people pay for water to get the ashes off their bodies. That is a true fact. It was reported. It was reported by several people. The company had to come out and make a statement to the world about it. Ever since I found that out, I have not supported Starbucks. But also that shit too. It looks like flubber. Whatever they're doing with their blended stuff, it looks like they're trying to kill you. So yes, I'm glad you said something because that shit looks scary. Oh my God.
And then we went, oh, that was strange. And I think that's the worst part. At least from our perspective, our friend group is more of the Xana Ethan side. I didn't really know the Maddie Kaylee's side of it as much. I knew Bethany pretty well. I knew Bethany pretty well, but I just knew people that were under 21 that didn't go to the bars, kind of thing.
Yeah.
All of it's just strange.
Have you talked to about this?
Yeah, I texted. So after the press conference and all the news reporters asked, like, what about the roommates? What if the roommates did it? I'm telling you guys right now, the roommates didn't do it.
I'm telling you right now, the roommates didn't do it. And then it goes blank. Why are we not allowed to hear this? Why are we not allowed to hear her sticking up for Dylan and Bethany? I don't understand why we are not allowed to hear her taking up for Dylan and Bethany. Now, she also hasn't acted like she knows Dylan and Bethany very well either. She has only mentioned, and it's just redacted. I'm just talking while it's silent. She has not mentioned even knowing them. Okay? She has no clue. She has no clue about the relationships inside that house between Kaylee and Bethany, Kaylee and Dylan, Maddie and Dylan, Maddie and Bethany, Kaylee, Maddie, da-da-da. She doesn't know shit about shit. She only knows about Xana and Ethan. This girl is making she's a politician. She's making some bold ass statements on some shit she don't know nothing about. Like, actually. Like hell. Crazy.
Said anything about the incident to you?
No, I haven't really tried though. The only person I've really asked for us firsthand was
personal account for what? What?
He said anything about the incident to you?
No, I haven't really tried though. The only person I've really asked for us firsthand was because Anna and I are really, really close, and so is really close too. And the day after it happened, we were out getting coffee, and we texted and we're like, "Okay, we have coffee for you guys," because the cops had put them up in the back. And we came out, and
I hate these redactions. It's so hard to hear who she's talking about. Okay, hold on. It's going to start playing again.
Have they said anything about the incident to you?
No, I haven't really tried though. The only person I've really asked for us firsthand was because Anna and I are really.
Okay, so it sounds like she's asking somebody else what Dylan or Bethany or both might have told them.
To you?
No, I haven't really tried though. The only person I've really asked for us firsthand was because Anna and I are really, really close, and so is really close too. And
so whoever she's asking is really, really close with the girls. She's not really, really close with the girls. Whoever gave her their firsthand experience of speaking with the girls is who's really close to the girls.
The day after it happened, we were out getting coffee, and we texted and we're like, "Okay, we have coffee for you guys," because the cops had put them up.
Emily.
And we came out, and what told me, and of course I'd to tell this story better than me, but said that they stay at the Whites, right? And so it's like Sigma Chi, the Whites, and then all of these other houses right here, all a bunch of different houses. And
Dylan
saw something in the middle of the night, saw a guy, and I'm telling you, I literally saw people walk out of our front door and went, "Wonder who that was." It was pretty, and
thank you for the gift of membership, Curious Cat. She just said she has seen people walk out of her front door and been like, "Whoa, I don't know who that was." Okay, girl.
Middle of the night, saw a guy, and I'm telling you, I literally saw people walk out of our front door and went, "Wonder who that was." It was pretty, and saw somebody heard something, did something, locked her door, went to bed, and then thought, "Gosh, that was weird." And then woke up the next day at noon, like the rest of us. It was, probably she went to bed probably around 4.
See, Dylan has been lying to everyone in that town. Every single person that she told this story to at the hotel thinks her bitch ass went to sleep. She told everyone they all just went to bed and didn't wake up until noon. No, not even Bethany went straight to bed. Bethany has several hours throughout the night of being on the phone. There are sections where there is not any movement that they have given us in the records, but Dylan went around telling everyone that she fell asleep. How do y'all feel knowing that she lied to you? Her phone records are out. She was texting. She was talking to people on social media. She was surfing social media. She was taking photos. She was taking videos. She was editing them. She was doing other things with them. Then she was deleting them. She was doing a million things and never slept a single wink. How do y'all feel knowing Dylan lied to you? I'm waiting for someone to have the damn balls to come out and finally ask the question as a local, as a student, as someone who has come out with these damn interviews and asked the question, why is no one coming out and asking Dylan, why did you lie to us and tell us you were asleep? Why did you lie to us and tell us that you were calling Xana and Maddie and Kaylee's phone and Bethany was the only one that answered and that's why you went down to her room? Why did you lie to everyone, Dylan? When is that going to happen? Because that's the truth. I just don't get it. I don't understand how none of these people have called her out. Like, this is crazy.
And then woke up, called and was like, I have a really weird feeling. Can you guys come over for a second and come check things out with me, like downstairs? Because Xana, like when you walk into the downstairs, like door, right? And you walk in the door, you literally, there's a staircase and then Xana's room. And so that's why I think that somebody
That's ignorant. It's not staircase and then Xana's room. It's staircase, open living room, and Xana's room is down a freaking hallway way back behind you. Has this girl never been inside the house? No fucking way. I called midlife crisis red Corvette looking sports car guy, and I knew she was in fucking politics. She just runs her mouth about everything. She's just like Steve Goncalves. She has an answer for every little thing and she'll make up shit just to run with it. Oh, I called it. I called it.
I must have walked in that door, saw them, went, fuck. Like that's, I gotta kill them too kind of thing.
This girl is weird, bro. She's just saying all kind of crazy shit.
And you walk in the door, you literally, there's a staircase and then Xana's room. And so that's why I think that somebody must have walked in that door, saw them, went, fuck. Like that's, I gotta kill them too kind of thing. Anyways, though, they call over, opens the door and sees them.
Girl's tripping.
Calls the cops, and then walked out, and they were like puking. They were so like literally vomiting.
Nobody was vomiting. What are you talking about? Is she's saying that Hunter and the girls or somebody, nobody was throwing up.
The door and sees them, calls the cops.
No, I'm starting this over and shutting up for a second because she's saying some crazy shit. Hold on a minute. Let me shut up and listen to this.
Saw somebody heard something, did something, locked her door, went to bed, and then thought, gosh, that was weird. And then woke up the next day, like the rest of us, it was, probably she went to bed probably around 4, and then woke up.
She went to bed probably around 4. This is still, I know that we know better now, but this is crazy. Thank you for the 2 witchy was. I don't want to. I'll have a panic attack. I'll have a whole heart attack right here sitting on this damn screen. No. I'm so glad I do everything from home. There's no way I could deal with nobody like this. Jesus Christ.
Heard something, did something, locked.
Be careful. Don't do no 2x speed on this chick talking because I had to slow her down to 0.90. We're not even in 1x territory. That's why the cops sound a little bit slow because this chick is sonic talking.
Her door, went to bed, and then thought, gosh, that was weird. And then woke up the next day at noon like the rest of us, it was, probably she went to bed probably around 4. And then woke up, called and was like, I have a really weird feeling. Can you guys come over for a second? Come check things out with me, like downstairs. Because Xana, like when you walk into the downstairs, like door, right? And you walk in the door, you literally, there's a staircase and then Xana's room. And so that's why I think that somebody must have walked in that door, saw them, like, fuck, like that's, I gotta kill them too kind of thing. Anyways, though, they call it over.
I can just see her literally going, anyways, though. What is this girl talking about? Oh my God, she's crazy.
Your case, and then Xana's room. And so that's why I think that somebody must have walked in that door, saw them, went.
I think that's why she keeps mentioning it so much, because no one has asked her about coke and she keeps bringing it up. So probably, but no, yeah, this is not even on 1X. She's just tripping.
Like that's, I gotta kill them too kind of thing. Anyways, though, they call it over.
Oh God.
Opens the door and sees them, calls the cops, and then walked out, and they were like puking. They were so like.
Dylan and Bethany walked out and they were like puking. I'm sorry. Please, I ask you one more time, Miss Martha. How does it feel to know that you were lied to about this entire... No one threw up. No one puked. No one was crying so hard they vomited out on the street. No, ma'am. No, ma'am. No, ma'am. They lied to your ass.
They call it.
Oh my God.
Opens the door and sees them, calls the cops, and then walked out, and they were like puking. They were so like literally vomiting outside of their house. And
literally
then,
not.
They were all standing around there like, do you guys know where Kaylee and Maddie are? And that's how they figured out that Kaylee and Maddie had died too. They hadn't even saw it or heard it or anything.
And what's last name?
This girl's
Alon.
Yeah, Alon.
Okay.
And like I said, she's in my right now.
See, they just gave us all of Emily's last name, but the caption said Alonzo instead of Alant.
I didn't even saw it or heard it or anything.
And what's last name? Alon.
Yeah, Alon.
Okay.
And like I said, she's in my right now.
Oh,
They
that's
booked
right.
my
You.
trip and yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Is there anything else that you feel investigators should know? Anything you feel is pertinent, not pertinent? Anything else?
See, that's why, especially Emily. Okay, I said this at the sentencing. Emily, ma'am, they used you to come over. Especially Dylan. I mean, at this point, I can't say that Bethany's just some dumbass because, like, come on, girl. Come on. Okay? But especially for Emily and Hunter. If Hunter's got nothing to do with anything and he's completely clueless and has no idea, blah, 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 whatever, he should be fucking pissed. He should be suing Dylan for emotional distress, if you want to be serious. They have all the proof that she was awake, not giving two shits after hearing everything, admitting that she heard screaming, admitting that she heard all these things. This is not a joke. This is not, oh, she barely just heard something and she wasn't just really sure because it sounded just like regular party noises. No, it's not. This situation. She has high descriptions of what she claims that she saw, and she's had them since day one. Day one. Not sleeping. No telling what else that she was actually doing that we don't have access to from just the record, because that's not her only device. We don't know what the hell else she was doing. And the cell records that were released are cherry picked. You can tell because it's just snippets of information. What we can see is nonstop movement. What we can see is that she was doing 1.5 million things on top of, again, what are you taking videos and photos of? If Bethany is supposed to be asleep and you're down in her bedroom by yourself, what are you taking photos and videos of? And did you really think that your phone information wasn't going to come to light? Miss, I slept all night until noon. No, you didn't. And who in their freaking college age mind? Okay. I don't give a shit how old she is. If you're old enough to go and live in a house and split bills and be responsible, then how do you not know that your phone records are going to show your dumbass was not sleeping? You know that your social media leaves a footprint. You are taught that before you even hit double digits, that everything that you do on the internet shows up. She knew damn well that when she was telling everyone that she went to sleep and didn't wake up till noon, that they were going to be able to tell from her activity that that was a lie. Don't tell me she didn't know. She just knew probably that it was going to take a few days for them to be able to get it. So she was going to be able to get her story together and act like a dumbass, make a bunch of excuses, and fake being intoxicated. The girl was sober. Like, actually. And that's from her own descriptions of things. Then we got more confirmation from people that were with her that she said she wasn't going to be drinking because she just couldn't get into it. She wasn't feeling like it. So again, how do you friends of Dylan and Bethany feel about being lied to and used as little pawns over the past 4 years? I would super, super love to know y'all's actual take on it.
Go back to the Coke thing. There's only one.
So there's all this silence, and she just randomly, all by herself, says, going back to the Coke thing. Girl, why is Coke on your mind so much? This girl is full of red flags.
Anything you feel is pertinent, not pertinent, anything else?
Go back to the Coke thing. There's only one person in Moscow who most of the get their Coke from. I guess I probably should tell you guys this. He used to also kind of hang out with Xana.
Okay.
Enter Mason Bangman. Pretty positive. Enter Mason Bangman. Now, this is the guy that Xana was sort of dating that got kicked out of the university completely for drug dealing. That's the story that we've been given for Mr. Bangman.
And like Xana, like he would trigger to come formals kind of thing. I don't think we did this. His name's Bangman. He also doesn't even go to U of I. He just lives on the University of Idaho campus and pretty much just hangs out. They didn't have like a terrible falling out. Xana didn't have terrible falling outs. There was never anything that was like, oh my god.
She just knows everything.
So, you know what I mean?
Everything is crazy.
Nobody hated her, including me. Posted a bunch of stuff about this and how sad he is about it, and I believe him. But had his fair share of like drug stuff and used to date Xana. Probably should have led with that. I told my mom that, and she was like, "Oh my god, Martha." And like I know, like I listed, I lived summer. I lived in the house he's living in right now. He's a devil that got kicked out of Delta because he chased a bunch of kids back to the dorms one night. He's somebody should probably have a conversation with. Kind of an interesting guy.
Okay. Anything else?
You don't say.
You said he chased a bunch of people back to the dorms?
Yeah, he was, I don't know if he was drunk or coked out or whatever he was, but so Old Greek is like right here, right? The dorms are like right here, Sigma Chi and all this stuff is over here. And he chased a bunch of back to the dorms and was like barking at them, and like it's the reason he got kicked out of happened like 3 years ago. I don't think violent.
So this is a story from 3 years ago of this guy doing something stupid before he got kicked out.
He was drunk or coked out or whatever he was. But so Old Greek is like right here, right? The dorms are like right here, Sigma Chi and all this stuff is over here. And he chased a bunch of back to the dorms and was like barking at them, and like it's the reason he got kicked out of happened like 3 years ago. I don't think he's a violent guy. I also don't think he would have the physical capability of being able to kill Xan or be able to kill Ethan just because you're so much bigger than him.
Chased him on running after him or drove his car.
Yeah, barking at him. I'm gonna kill you, kind of. Yeah, like I mean, not obviously. I mean, people throw that around.
People throw that around.
able to kill Ethan just because he was a bunch of people drunk or he's somebody should probably have a conversation with. Kind of an interesting guy.
Okay. Anything else?
You said he chased a bunch of people back to the dorms.
Yeah, he was, I don't know if he was drunk or coked out or whatever he was, but so Old Greek is like right here, right? The dorms are like right here, Sigma Chi and all this stuff is over here. And he chased a bunch of back to the dorms and was like barking at them and like, it's a reason he got kicked out of happened like 3 years ago. I don't think he's a violent guy. I also don't think would have the physical capability of being able to kill him or be able to kill Ethan just because he was so much bigger than him.
Chased him on.
Okay, I'm here. I don't know what it did. It just started tripping. So let me get back where we were. I actually literally just had to turn off my entire computer. I have so many clips and so many videos because I always go in and I download stuff and then other stuff happens. Like this computer is overloaded. I've been saying for a while, I need to sit down and take like a few days and just go through all the files and completely organize everything and get stuff changed out. I know that I'm completely overloading this damn system. And then I try to do multiple things at one time and it's just not working out. So I'll take some time at some point, maybe this weekend, and clear everything out.
A bunch of back to the dorms. It was like,
okay, yeah, this is where we were.
Barking at them.
This part. So I will just say this. I just got an email from someone saying that Phoenix Talks is again trying to say that she is raising money for the Kohberger family. I am going to send an email over to Melissa to verify that she's actually speaking to this Phoenix person, because Phoenix is apparently claiming that she's also speaking to the Kohbergers. Now, I never asked them about Phoenix. She could be. I have no idea. No freaking idea. I know that I did ask about a couple other people very specifically and was told that those people are not being honest. But I'm going to find out from Melissa if Phoenix actually does have a connection to the family, and it's proven because Melissa says yes, then I can't say anything about what she's doing as long as the family is aware. But as far as I know so far, I haven't been told that they're raising money for a damn thing. So again, just be very careful with what you donate money to and what you see. Unless somebody can tell you for sure that the family is involved in something, just be very careful. So that's what I was actually doing when the computer crashed, is I was trying to ask Melissa that question. How convenient. I'm pretty sure now that I told the world, I mean, if the FBI wasn't watching me before, I'm pretty sure now that I told the world that I'm in contact with Bryan Kohberger's sister, that the FBI has tapped everything that I have, which is fine. Fuck you, Agent So-and-so. Have fun. But I'm pretty sure that that's what that was about, because that's exactly what I was doing when everything crashed. So let me get back to this, and I will email her after the live. And I'll let you know whenever we get an answer. I don't know. Yeah, I've been on a list. I mean, the CIA has known about me for a super long time because I don't like the government and I talk a lot of shit about everybody, you know? So I know I have an FBI agent, especially now. I'm not worried about it. Yeah, Agent so-and-so. So I don't know. Like I said, if she actually knows the family and Melissa says, yes, I've been talking to her, then that's fine. I can't say anything. Maybe they're doing something. But I'm just going to myself get verification from the Kohberger family before we do anything with that. So I would just say to be very careful until we know for sure what's going on.
He's a devil that got kicked out of Delta because he chased a bunch of kids back to the dorms.
Let me go
one
back
night.
a few minutes. Hold on.
There was never any lie. He just lives on the University of Idaho campus and like.
Did it actually show his name in the captions?
He would trigger to come formals kind of thing. I don't think we did this. His name's Bangman. He also doesn't
see all of these redactions that we pay for. And they don't even redact things correctly. We should not know the last name of this person. Oh, they suck.
Even go to U of I. He just lives on the University of Idaho campus and pretty much just hangs out.
He just hangs out.
They didn't have like a terrible falling out. Xana didn't have terrible falling outs. There was never anything that was like, oh my God. Like, it was so, you know what I mean? Nobody hated her, including me. Posted a bunch of stuff about this and how sad he is about it, and I believe him. But had his fair share of like drug stuff and he used to take Xana.
I mean, we knew the Bangman Gate guy, you know his name, but I'm just surprised that they let it out like that.
She's like, oh my God. And like, I know, like I said, I lived the summer I lived in the house he's living in right now. He's a devil that got kicked out of Delta because he chased a bunch of kids back to the dorms one night. He's somebody should probably have a conversation with. Kind of an interesting guy.
It's okay. Mason. I don't know the Ben thing. Don't follow the captions as much because his last name is also Bangman, so there's like an E in there too. So it's just catching what it can. His name is Mason Bangman. I don't know what his middle name is. I guess he could have a middle name, Benjamin. I don't know, but Mason Bangman is his name.
Anything else?
You said he chased a bunch of people back to the dorms.
Yeah, he was, I don't know if he was drunk or coked out or whatever he was, but so Old Greek is like right here, right? The dorms are like right here, Sigma Chi and all this stuff is over here. And he chased a bunch of G's back to the dorms and was like barking at them and like, it's the reason he got kicked out of happened like 3 years ago. I don't think he's a violent guy. I also don't think would have the physical capability of being able to kill Xan or be able to kill Ethan just because he was so much bigger than him.
Chased him on running after him or drove his car.
Yeah, barking at him. I'm gonna kill you, kind of. Yeah, like I mean, not obviously. You mean people throw that around. Yeah.
Right.
So, if this tells you kind of what guy is, I paid rent to me all summer, and it was like $150 a month or whatever, right? And instead of paying the landlord, he just pocketed all the money, kept all of it, right, as a fraternity man would, right? And so we got an eviction notice this summer because man didn't use any of the money we paid him to pay any of the rent.
Of course.
So she lived with him? She lived with Mason Bangman? And he was the one that would gather the rent from everyone and he wasn't paying the landlord, so they got evicted? Is that what she just said?
If this tells you kind of what guy is, I paid rent to me all summer, and it was like $150 a month or whatever, right? And instead of paying the landlord, he just pocketed all the money, kept all of it, right, as a fraternity man would, right? And so we got an eviction notice this summer because man didn't use any of the money.
What
we
a
paid him to pay the
loser.
rent.
Of course.
Yeah, which is really good, you know.
Mason
Good
Damon
landlord
is a
liaison.
loser. Wow. What she said?
Didn't use any of the money we paid him to pay any of the rent.
Of course.
Yeah, which is really good, you know. Good landlord liaison.
Good landlord liaison. Wow. Yeah, she doesn't like men in general, which I don't either, but like, damn. She's like,
I'm like, this is a photo of him and Xana together.
oh no, she's popping out photos of Mason Bangman and Xana together.
Let's see if I can find it.
There's only about 4 minutes left. Can you imagine? Oh my God. There's a lot of silence right here. I remember towards the end of the interview.
Yeah, that's insane.
Because those apartments aren't the apartments aren't campus housing. That's why Enon Harsh lives there. They're open to whoever. It's just a lot of college people that get to those apartments because they're so close to campus, but they're open to everyone. We learned that with Enon.
Is his name on there?
Yeah. Mason. Well, like I said, I don't. The idea that we do this is pretty outlandish to me. But maybe we'll understand the drug portions of it, and that side of things.
Thank you.
So then technically, because she has to feel like there's some sort of drug connection here, because she keeps asking about coke, going back to stories about coke, and now she's telling a story about an ex, technically an ex, a guy that Xana was messing around with for a while, that has a coke issue and stole money from her and like all these other things. But then she's also like backtracking and saying, I don't know, the thought of him having anything to do with it just doesn't make any sense. Well, then why are you telling the cops all about him? Why are you telling the cops everything about him and telling them all these crazy things about these stories about him being drunk and coked out and saying all these crazy things about wanting to kill somebody and blah, blah, blah? Why are you saying all that stuff and then being like, I don't know, it just doesn't seem possible. I'm so confused by you, girl.
And you're pretty confident that, not to go out left field, you're pretty confident that this is the one that picked them up from the Grove
I'm
Trail.
100% positive that's who drove them home.
She's a dumb shit. I'm 100% positive that's who drove them home. No, ma'am, you're not. You literally don't even know the color of the car. You just said you were drunk. And even though you were inside of the vehicle, you don't even remember what color it was. You think it was green. This girl's crazy.
And you're pretty confident that, not to go out of left field, you're pretty confident that this is the one that picked them up from the Grove Trail.
I'm 100% positive that's who drove them home.
All right. Do you know much about an Uber driver named?
She doesn't know Eric.
We don't take Ubers very often in Moscow. Uber is like not something people do very often.
Okay.
For a while, the university was trying to do like vandal Ubers, where like well, Ubers were free, and then people were doing stuff like taking it to Boise and stuff. I had to kind of curb that a little bit. But no, I don't.
Okay. You never got a ride from a guy named.
She doesn't know who he is.
We don't. Lyft was trying to come back, but like Uber and Lyft weren't super popular.
Okay. I think that's really all we've got.
Okay.
Like I said, I'll keep your information on hand if there's anything else.
Okay.
One of the many rabbit trails we can probably go down.
Okay.
And if there's anything else that you would like to include that you didn't, you can reach out. I'll leave you. I don't have any business cards with me. I could probably run to my desk and grab one, but I'll leave you our information. And then you can call in and we can take an additional statement over the phone or meet up with you somewhere.
Or don't. This girl's clueless.
I just want this guy dead. Whoever did this. Like, I'd be morbid about it, but like, I want to be there when he gets like sentenced to death and stuff. This was awful.
I want to be there when he gets sentenced to death and stuff. This is cool. I just want.
I just want this guy dead.
I just want this guy dead. Whoever did this.
About it, but like,
I hate to be morbid about it, but I want to like be there when he gets sentenced to death and stuff. This is cool. Girl. Some thoughts should stay inside of your brain. Oh my God.
So that's I put both of our names on there. That's my phone number. Is a cell phone, so you can text it if you just have a quick minute, like, hey, can I call you in a little bit or something? Or if you don't call it, you can also call the office and get a hold of my desk phone as well.
Is this something I can like tell people to call?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And then with that, we'll conclude the interview at 3:00.
Whoa, buddy. Whoa, buddy. Well, that ended with a bang. That was wild. Holy shiitakes. Girl's a little crazy. Girl's just a little crazy. But she's talking out of her ass, bro. She is talking out of her butt. She has no idea what she's talking about. She's sitting there saying that because she thinks that she sees the guy that drove her home that night in the grub truck footage, that makes her 100% positive that he is who brought Maddie and Kaylee home, while saying that while she knows of Maddie Mogen, okay, she doesn't know Kaylee. Oh my God. Oh my God. But again, I will say, how do y'all feel knowing that you were lied to by Dylan? One of y'all are eventually going to have to come out and say something, because how many of y'all are there? Hundreds? All lied to. Crazy shit. Crazy shit. Yeah, it said the 16th on Connor's title, but in the interview itself, it says it's the 18th. So I guess I need to go back and look at the report and see what date the report says, but he says the 18th in it. So if it was on the 18th, that's 2 days after the initial press conference. But if it was the 6th, she's talking about I think she even talked about the press conference in the interview, if I remember right. So she definitely heard it, and they're still talking about coke, going back to coke, talking about cartel possibilities. I think her having all of those questions is important. I also think it's really important that the first time we finally hear an FBI agent in on any of these interviews is when Jack Decor is being asked about Kaylee's coke dealer. Enter Ed Jacobson, who has been on all of these documentaries as like the one ex-FBI agent that we've ever seen be in a documentary that actually worked the case the documentary is about, because you never see that. It's always some weirdo who just happens to be an ex-FBI agent that's never touched the case ever. But no, he's been in like all of them. The last 4, like ever since Amazon Prime and Dateline times. He was just in Sundance. He was just in the new one from Netflix. I bet you there's going to be something about him in the new Amazon one. And don't forget, there's now something coming out on the ID channel last minute. This thing was not being advertised until like yesterday, maybe day before yesterday, and it's coming out Thursday. So that's going to be interesting. I'll look today to get to see if I can find a way to view the ID channel live so that we can do a live thing for it. If I have to get cable TV for it, which is probably the case, it's just going to have to wait till the next day. We'll watch it on HBO in the morning. Tan middle-aged man. Yeah, because they're asking if he might be Mexican. And then he's like, maybe it's not, okay, well, maybe not Mexican, but the guy could maybe be tan. Yeah, in that interview. Those were crazy. Those were wild. It's Barry's car. It might be Barry's car. That's what I said. Like, who all were sober bros for Sigma Chi? Because she's pretty positive that it was a Sigma Chi sober guy. But she's also gone from, oh, I don't know, maybe it was green to, oh, yes, they definitely hopped into a silver car, even though you can't see a car on the footage. I just, ugh. How many investigators heard her interview and just like took off with it and wait for like their timeline and stuff and didn't think to like go back and double check shit because it's just a report. And like the reports versus the interviews are also real important because we see the differences between body cam and officer report. The reports are what gets forwarded over. The report of what happened gets forwarded over. They don't watch the body cam. They don't go back and listen to the audio. The report written up is what gets forwarded. And then the truth gets buried, basically. That's why it's called the game of telephone. It's ridiculous. Oh, no. No way. Oh, my God. I've been wanting to know what these were for a long time. How did he even get them? That's insane that they released those. Did he FOIA these? Oh my God. How did he get these? I'm impressed. When I tried to get some information about Kaylee and Jax for that timeline, it was denied for privacy. It was denied for privacy. I was told no. And then everything got released about Dylan's about like a week after I requested Dylan's information about the 3:51 a.m. contact. Wow. Okay. I've been wanting to know these. Okay. So Saturday, 8:40 p.m. Hey, Eric, are you driving tonight? I am. Saturday, 1:02 p.m. Yay. Can you pick me and some friends up from my house at 1122 King Road and take us to the club? Yeah, for sure. I just dropped off some people in Pullman and am headed that way now, probably be about 15 minutes. Here. And then 1:45 in the morning. Hey, Eric, can you come pick me and some friends up from the grub truck? Friends? So her initial messages to Gower included Showalter? Interesting. I mean, I'm assuming that because that's a plural and not just Maddie, which would be a friend. Yeah, for sure. I'll be there in a minute. Okay, thank you. We are still waiting for our order, but it should be up soon. Okay, sounds good. Parked in front of grub truck. Perfect. Be in a sec. They were at 75 and we are 78. Okay, sounds good. You all okay? Which was yesterday, 1:05 p.m. He must have texted Kaylee and asked if she was okay 1 minute after the vandal alert went out. So why do we have this one again? So they're on here twice. It's the same messages twice. It's the same messages twice. Okay. So right here, 149 is the last message. And then they must have just like gotten in the car. And then, see, I don't remember him saying that he messaged Kaylee. Do you guys remember the interview? He said he messaged Zoe and checked on Zoe. I don't remember him saying in his interview that he texted Kaylee. I'm going to have to go back and re-listen to that because I don't remember that. 1 minute after the vandal alert. Well, because the vandal alert also had the address in it. I'm pretty positive. Yeah, this sounds like a regular schmegular little conversation. And I'm really glad that these just came out because, and look, I'm tired of saying names. If you watch these people still, then you're going to know who I'm talking about. I shouldn't even have to say it. I've talked a bunch of shit about this person over the past few weeks already, okay? This person not only is being kind of shady when it comes to the way that they're getting FOIA information. That's just a little tidbit for y'all. And y'all can figure all this out. Like, I ain't got to say the name. Y'all can do yours own damn deductive. Come on. Come on now. Y'all are here because y'all are smart. Their people, because of some dumb shit that she said when they were going over the Martha interview, are now like, oh, it was this other guy that actually picked up the girls. Oh, it wasn't Eric. Oh, it was this other person. Oh my God, more shady shit. No, we're not going to play the stupid games after it took so long just to be able to get a little bit of freaking detail and a little bit of fact. We're not doing that. So these coming out right now are perfect. Perfect. Because this is what needed to be seen. We needed to see the messages between them that shows that Kaylee actually contacted him and he showed up and he picked them up and he's the guy, even though we already know that, because for some reason, people that claim to work real hard like to just throw bombs on shit. Okay. So I'm so glad that these came out now because that was dumb. That was dumb. But I'm glad these are out. So this was from Eric's phone. This is from Eric's side. You can see how it says Kaylee and it's saved under Kaylee Uber and it has the address. So this is from Eric Gower's side of the phone. I'm gonna ask Connor how much he paid for these, because all they did was redact Eric's name. All they did was redact Eric's name. Couple little letters, and they probably charged like $100 just for them to redact some little bitty letters from the house. See, that's what was weird about the messages that were released in the Netflix series, because Olivia is asking him specifically about when he dropped the girls off at home. And he, we don't know if he actually answered that question, but Netflix only showed his answer for picking them up at the house and not his answer for dropping them off, which I found interesting. I found that super interesting. Here, I'll give y'all, here's the link right here to this post for Connor's page. But he has the Google Drive link that will take you to this. But yeah, that's interesting. And see, this is also where he posted the Sigma Chi list that he ended up getting. And I'm again just really, really, really confused about the section where it says that there was apparently a photo at 1:48 that Ethan sent to JH via Snapchat, and it shows that they were in Xana's house. And this situation right here, Snapchat conversation was flipping each other shit, all in fun and nothing unusual. What does that mean? What does that mean? And then 30 minutes later, you have Ethan calling other people. And then we have Cooper Atkinson, who was just in the Netflix series, 5 missed calls from him way before the 911 call, way before the vandal alert, way before anybody would have known anything was going on. 5 missed calls to Ethan all around this time frame of this 1:48 shit, while they're telling us in court orders, in court paperwork, that at 2:15 when the DoorDash order was made, Xana was not at her house. So I'm really tired. I'm really tired of being confused by the information that comes out here, because I don't know how they're telling us this now. But they're not really telling us this now, though. That's also another thing, that this is coming from somebody from Sigma Chi. We have not seen anything about a Snapchat picture at 1:48 that proves that they're at the house. We haven't. That timeline makes no sense to Bethany and Dylan not mentioning anything at all about Ethan and Xana, about Lakeland not mentioning anything at all about Ethan and Xana. Like, that's crazy. Absolutely crazy. This thing continues to be the absolute biggest mystery. But again, I don't remember Eric Gower saying that he messaged Kaylee the next day. I remember him in his interview saying that he messaged Zoe and checked on Zoe. So seeing this is interesting, because I sure the hell don't remember that happening. I sure don't remember that happening. So yeah. So much. Okay. Now I know that the Goncalveses have been on a tour, and I have seen several different videos already sort of like show up. So we've got the Today Show. Where are there? Hold on. We have Inside Edition. Is there any other ones you guys know about? Are there any other ones you guys know about? I'm going to look around for the rest of them. And then we'll probably go live. I mean, I am going to go live later today. Like in the next, probably like 8:45 in the next 2 hours or so, we'll go live again and probably go over another interview. But I'm going to look and see like the stuff, or we're just going to do this. I'm going to go live and we're going to go over like what they're out here talking about. So I'll find the rest of them and we'll talk about them. But they're like, I've seen 2 of them so far. See 2 of them so far. But I'm going to look at them some more and we're going to go over them because I'm interested to see what they're saying. More lies and dumb shit, I'm sure. Wild as hell. All right, you guys. I'm going to go ahead and get off of here. Let's see, what do I have to do before we get back online? It'll be like 8:45 or 9:15 before we come back on. I got a late start today because I just... My blood pressure medicine is still not leveled out. So when I got up and I took it this morning, it just sort of like made me tired again. And I just had to like lay back down. I wanted to go live at like 10 something. I started a lot later than what I wanted to, but hopefully that levels out soon. Cause like I feel okay now, but I think it's cause I maybe had some caffeine. I don't know. It'll level out. We'll get stuff done a lot earlier. I'm gonna look around for the rest of them. The Today Show. Okay. Let me see. Is that the one I have right here? Yeah. I have the Today Show open and I have Inside Edition from 2 hours ago. So I'm looking for anything else that's from today or like yesterday at the latest. Yeah. All right. I'm going to keep looking around. I'll keep looking around. You guys have a great couple of hours, you know, before I come back out here, or if you don't come back, have a great rest of your day. And, yeah, thanks for coming in here. And thank you again for all of Don's little little things. It's going to be so much fun to see what else he ends up doing. So I'm going to let him pick what he wants to do. Whatever he wants to do his little reaction on, I'm going to let him do whatever he wants to do. He's got over $100 now. Like I have to recalculate all of it. He's got plenty of money to do some cool shit. So he should be, that video should be out today. I'm going to sit down with him as soon as I get off of here and get the thumbnail out real quick. So I'd say within like the next like 30 minutes or so, I should have it out. So I think, yeah, I should have time for that. We're going to do that like right here in a minute. I'm going to call him in here so we can get it done. But thanks for coming in here, you guys. I will see you guys in a little bit. Have a great rest of your evening. Try to get some relaxation in before we start back up, but I'll see you guys soon. See y'all.